Every year we make a vegan king cake. Thanks to Kittee for the recipe and inspiration. Here's how you can make one too.
Maximum salad.
We start off by melting together some vegan butter and plant milk in a saucepan. All of the ingredients are in the recipe in the description box below. Here we're mixing together our dry ingredients, which is our flour, yeast, a little bit of salt. Give that a good whisk. And then it's time to add the butter and milk to the bowl. We're going to stir that until well combined. You can do this in a KitchenAid mixer if you have. I don't have one. Now we're going to add lemon zest, our vanilla yogurt, or you could use plain, and energy egg replacer. Give that a good stir, and then it's time to add your flour. We're doing this 1/2 cup at a time. Just stir it in until it's combined. Add your next 1/2 cup. Stir that up. You just want to keep this up until the dough starts to thicken up and become a ball of dough that you could knead. Again, this is a lot easier in a KitchenAid mixer, but we are doing this by hand, and it's actually not that difficult. Now it's time to knead the dough. Do this for about 10 minutes by hand or about 5 minutes by mixer until it forms a nice ball. We're going to cover this up with either a saran wrap or a tea towel and keep it in a warm place. After about 2 hours, the dough has doubled in size. It's time to punch it down. This is the most fun part of the whole process. Let's gather the dough. We're going to roll it out onto a floured surface. And don't forget to preheat your oven to 350. You want to roll this out into a thin rectangle. We don't have a rolling pin, so we improvised here, but obviously use what you have. At this point, you can either leave your dough alone and roll it up like a cinnamon roll, or go the hard way like we are and cut it into 3 long pieces so that we can braid it into a braided dough. We're filling ours with a bit of a tropical flair. Our first flavor is ube. This is traditionally cinnamon and sugar. Our second flavor is mango. You could do a strawberry, would be really nice, or raspberry. It's really up to you, whatever you choose to fill. And our third one is going to be plant-based cream cheese. It's really delicious with a little bit of cream in there. Next up, we're going to roll the little doughs into long, thin strands so that we can braid it together just like hair. Gross. And the important thing here is you don't want your filling to leak out, so make sure you pinch your dough down so that way none of the filling leaks out. And if you've never braided bread before, it's not as difficult as you might think. All you're going to do is start off just like you would a hairstyle and put your strands together on one end and just slowly alternate wrapping the breads together and to form a nice braid. Pinch your ends together and we're going to form a loop with that. Transfer to a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and try to connect your ends as best as you can. And then it's time for the oven. Bake until brown, which is about 35 to 45 minutes. Let cool about 10 minutes and then transfer to a wire cooling rack to cool all the way. While it's cooling, it's time to make your icing. Icing is super simple. All it is powdered sugar with a little bit of plant milk. Start off with less and add more if needed. After your cake is fully cooled, it's time to glaze it and top it with colored sugar. If you can't find colored sugar at the store, you can make your own by using food dye and regular white sugar. It's totally fine. The colors that are traditional are gold, purple, and green, but if you have other colors, you're absolutely fine putting whatever color sugar you'd like on your king cake. It's yours after all. And don't forget to hide the baby. So traditional king cakes have a little plastic baby Jesus hidden inside. If you don't have a plastic toy you want to put inside, you can put an almond or a cashew or whatever you have around. It's tradition that whoever gets the slice of cake with the baby inside has to bring the king cake next year's party. So may the odds ever be in your favor. And laissez les bon temps rouler. Happy Mardi Gras!